Hey everybody, we're going to answer a few questions today on our John Muir trail trip. If you haven't watched the video, you're probably confused why I'm holding toilet paper.
This is the 20th time I've had to dig a cat hole, which is more than Noah, Ben combined, and probably Ethan too. Also, I changed my shirt for the first time in over a week.
Please watch the video, link is in the description below.
Did it kill you to walk past all of those lakes and streams, seeing fish cruising around but not enough time to fish them all? Short answer, yes. It was very difficult, but we had to keep moving. We had to keep getting there, and I think all of us had a good enough idea of the big picture. We needed to get to Mount Whitney, and so that made it a little bit easier. Next question, what was your most beloved piece of gear on the trail? For me, my most beloved piece of gear was my down jacket. It kept me warm when it was cold, which was often on the trail, especially on Mount Whitney. But for me, being able to be warm, being able to function, that was very important, and it was extremely nice. If you're going out there, get a really warm fleece or a down jacket, it's definitely a necessity.
I would say that my most beloved piece of gear would be my Mosquito net. This thing is one of the most beautiful garments I've ever laid eyes upon. The mosquitoes were a lot worse than anyone really expected, I think. And so this thing I was definitely glad to have it.
My favorite piece of gear was my sleeping liner. I brought a little fleece sleeping liner to throw in my synthetic sleeping bag, and that kept me warm at night when it got cold, like up on top of Mount Whitney. My sleeping bag was 40 to 50 degrees, and my liner added about 10 degrees to it, which was very, very nice.
Yeehaw! Do not put that in there. For me, my favorite piece of gear was definitely my fly rod. There are a lot of opportunities to fish for trout, rainbows, browns, goldens, and brooks. And then the Sierra Bright Dot fly was the only fly I used. I bought probably 15 flies, but the Sierra Bright Dot is what I preferred.
What, if anything, do you think you could have cut out of your packs to save weight? Well, in my pack personally, I had straps I never used, so I actually cut those out, and I lost a couple ounces from the straps and the buckles that were attached to it. Would you recommend durable bear bags instead of cans? In Washington and Oregon, the states, you can use this Ursack. It's made out of Kevlar, and it works pretty well. It's very light and durable. But in Yosemite, Kings Canyon, and Sequoia, you have to use this approved bear canister. You can get others that are similar to this, but you have to use a approved bear canister.
What played the biggest roles in navigation and keeping you on the trail? Do not rely on a GPS or a phone. You don't even get phone service out there. What did work though, we always carry this pocket atlas. It's the lightest one you can get. It's about 2.5 ounces. Gives you a bunch of detail on the terrain, topography, lines, even the trail stops of Red's Meadow and Muir Trail Ranch, different town maps. We liked them a lot. The link is in the description below for buying one of his maps.
What kept morale up on the trail aside from each other? Did music play a role? Kinda. We didn't bring a speaker or anything, but we would attempt to sing songs to boost the morale. That didn't really work very well though. We're from Wisconsin and we live at about 800 feet approximately. When you're walking at 10,000 feet, you lose your breath very quickly. And so what we would do is we'd sing like one verse of a song or like a couple lines, and then we'd stop as soon as we all ran out of breath. About an hour later, when we all caught our breaths again, we would pick it back up, and it would take us about 2 days to finish the song. I mean, not all of our singing uplifted our spirits though. There was one time where Ethan yodeled.
I was walking, right, and I was just losing my will to live, and then Ethan started yodeling. And then I just lost it all.
Look, if you didn't like it, you could have told me to stop.
That has to be one of the most traumatizing experiences of my life. What was the video filmed on, and how was it powered? The video was filmed on a GoPro Hero 4 Silver. I brought along a portable charger and 5 batteries. The portable charger lasted the entire time, which I found kind of surprising. We had a solar charger as a backup, but we never really had to use it. The GoPro worked very well for what we were using it for, and I would recommend it if any of you guys are doing a trip like this. But definitely bring extra batteries, because the batteries don't last all day if you're doing something like we did.
When you're traveling, what do you do about hiking poles, knives, and lighters on a plane? You can't take those type items on carry-on. We took our backpacks, all our gear, carried them on the plane, They were with us the whole time, and we carried them off the plane. So how did we do with our hiking poles, our knives, our lighters, and that kind of things? We drop shipped them in our name to Tuolumne Meadows Postal Service. And Tuolumne Meadows, they have a small postal office there. The headquarters of the post office is actually in the valley, but during the summer months, you can list Tuolumne Meadows, and when it arrives in Yosemite, then they drop ship it up to Tuolumne Meadows. We flew into Reno, took the Eastern Sierra bus down to Lee Vining. From there, we took the Yards bus in to the park the next morning. The reason being, the Yards bus doesn't travel into the park late in the day. So logistically, once we got to Lee Vining, we needed a place to camp. Our cheapest alternative without renting a motel or paying for camping, I was told of a little place off of Utility Road where you could free camp. We had to hike about 2 miles, but it was about 1 mile and something from the Tioga Mart, which is where Yo Nellie's is. That's the place where we had breakfast the next morning. And that's also the bus stop for the Arts bus, which took us into the park the following morning we got there.
Knowledge. Here in my garage. Knowledge. Just bought this Lamborghini here. Knowledge. Knowledge. Here in my garage. Knowledge. Just bought this Lamborghini here. Knowledge. Knowledge. Here in my garage. Knowledge. Just bought this Lamborghini here. Knowledge. Knowledge. Here in my garage. Knowledge. Just bought this Lamborghini here. Knowledge.